Starglanz brachte Regisseur Patrick McKinley heute nach Berlin. Sein Film The Weight mit Ethan Hawke, Russell Crowe und der eindrucksvollen Native American Schauspielerin Julia Jones erlebte seine Premiere als Berlinale Special Gala. Patrick McKinleys spannungsreiches Drama aus der Zeit der Weltwirtschaftskrise 1933 begleitet eine Gruppe verzweifelter Sträflinge auf einer gefährlichen Reise voller Herausforderungen. Vor der kargen Schönheit der Landschaft Oregons zeichnet der Film ein düsteres Überlebensszenario mit nur einer einzigen Frau in dieser Männergruppe, Anna, gespielt von Julia Jones. Zu diesem Film, der übrigens mit deutscher Beteiligung entstand, Patrick McKinley auf seiner Pressekonferenz.
Hello, everyone.
They're super closed, huh? Those bottles.
Good evening, dear members of the press. Welcome to the 76th edition of the Berlinale. My name is Jacqueline Encia, and I'm part of the selection committee for the competition Perspectives and Berlinale Special. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to welcome you, the film team of The Weight. And I would like to introduce you to the team, starting from the far end at the other side of the table, with Lucas Lingard Turnison, played by Olsen.
Hello.
Next to him, Avinash, played Singh.
Avi.
Same Hazeldine as Amis.
Oh. Go ahead, Hazeldine.
Julia Jones as Anna. Ethan Hawke as Samuel Murphy. Austin Emilio as Rankin.
Yes.
And right next to me, the director, Patrick McKinley. Welcome, everyone. And yes, some housekeeping. When you address, please mention your name and stand up. Okay. Maybe we start. 1, 2.
Now it's work? Okay. Thanks for the big welcome, but I welcome also you. My name is Mark Harapetian, founder and publisher of culture magazine Spirit, the Smile and the Storm since the 16th living year. Congratulations, for me a great adventure film, and in some way it goes back to the introspective action movies of the 1970s. So question to all who want to answer. Did you watch films of this period to prepare for this movie? And what's your favorite action film of all time? Thank you.
Oh, wow.
You want to start?
You take it. Yeah.
All right, I'll start and just say that's a wonderful question to start this press conference off. I'm very grateful because that is the origin story of this film, is Pat and I's shared love of those 70s action films. And I had been making a documentary about Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, and I was kind of getting obsessed with the great nonverbal performances of people like McQueen and Paul Newman, and how much you could express that way through an action film, and how wonderful those old heroes' journeys gave you a context of an aspirational look at masculinity and what honor and dignity and fighting for what you believe in and taking care of others that was in my youth that I would see through these heroes' journeys. And Pat and I got in a long conversation about why there aren't movies like that anymore, and decided to make one. And that's what we're presenting here tonight. And so as far as the, Treasure Sierra Madre, The Sorcerer, Cool Hand Luke, Sometimes a Great Notion, there were a lot of inspirations. And hopefully what we did is kind of funnel them through all of us and have it come out to something original.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite would be.
Favorite? Action, you said action or adventure? Action. I mean, one thing that I did look at too was the indie films, the Indiana Jones films, and we took a little from that. Those are great. Sorcerer was probably our thing that we kicked off the most, and we sort of started dreaming of those kind of films, an elongated prologue, the adventure, the misfit, bunch of guys together.
We should mention Wages of Fear.
Wages of Fear, same breath, yeah, same film. So, those 70s films, I'd say that, but there's a million, I love French Connection. There's, we could do this a long time.
Yeah, we could have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Ethan, I have a totally different kind of question.
Okay.
You're at a famously political film festival. There's a huge debate here about artists, especially famous artists like you, and their role during a time when fascism is on the rise in Europe and the US. What's your position on artists raising their voice to fight fascism, which is the enemy of artistic freedom, and standing up for democracy and human rights?
All right. The last place you probably want to look for advice in your spiritual counsel is a bunch of jet-lagged, drunk artists talking about their film. That said, I love the movies, and I believe in the power of cinema to affect. They're kind of like, how every night we all dream, and those dreams kind of heal us and get us ready for the next day. In a lot of ways, I feel like collectively, the whole festival, all of you, all of us here are responsible for creating an international dream life. What is it? What are our dreams? What are we talking about? What are we thinking about? And I love this movie because it's something Julia said that I've taken to heart, which is at its core, it's about a group of people who don't think they have anything in common, who band together to fight institutional greed and malevolence, to realize that they have so much more in common and that it's worth fighting for. So I love that as what we're offering the world in response to that. And, anything that fights fascism, I'm all for.
Hello, Catalina Enonea, Romanian magazine Conștiința over here. Congratulations on this film. A question for Ethan. I was here last year for the press conference of Blue Moon, and congratulations on your Oscar nomination, by the way.
You're very kind.
I asked you back then which was your favorite line of all those beautiful lines where your character was quoting in Blue Moon. And I would like to ask you now if you have a favorite scene, or maybe a least favorite scene from this film, The Weight, where we saw some powerful scenes. Like, for example, for me, the scene under the water felt like very powerful and strong and probably not easy to shoot. And also the title, maybe a question for everyone who wants to answer. The weight, how should we interpret that? Is it like the physical weight of the gold they're carrying, the weight on his shoulders because of the situation with the daughter, or maybe the weight on the world under the pressure of the finances crisis, or maybe something else? Thank you very much.
Well, wow. Well, a great title has a metaphor to it, right? They all do. And so that can mean whatever. I have to admit that I think when Pat gave me this with the title, The Weight, I first thought of the band song, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I pulled into Nazareth, feeling about half past dead. And I think we all understand what the weight of life does to us and how do we respond. And so what's funny about the lines, the whole reason for me to want to do this movie was it was about the looks, the expressions between people, between all of us. This was a movie that was about heart, soul, blood, sweat, the real tactile things of life. So my favorite things from this movie were moments that happened between everybody here on stage right now, and the adventure that we had making it, I'll take with me. And I do feel like Pat caught it on camera, and it's there for you if you want to find it.
Hello, it's Yannis Rauzos from Athens, Greece. A great film, thank you. I was also here last year in Blue Moon interview. Well, in Weight, seems your character to carry a double burden. A material one, which means the gold and all the things that he has to face, and an immaterial one that has to do with fatherhood, with imprisonment, with guilt. And of course, there is a deeper existential weight, the longing to return to a life that maybe no longer exists for him. At what point in your interpretive process did you feel this man stops being merely a character struggling to survive and becomes an even deeper in his character, an even deeper existential experience of being as a person?
You want to take that, Pat?
I was hoping you were going to take it, but well, I'll start a little bit because it sort of relates to the last question a little. Is the Weight, the title, is put 12 minutes into the film for a reason, and it happens after Murphy's character is incarcerated and his daughter is taken away. So originally we had tried the title in the script in a few different places. Some unfortunate, originally Murphy's wife was crushed by some logs and it didn't seem appropriate to put it there. So the weight of that wasn't good. But the Weight is obviously a double entendre for the backpacks, for what he's feeling about the pressure of any father who would be in that position. And I think you're right. The greater sense of it is that's why we said it in Depression era 1930s, is that with things that was happening with the government taking people's gold, separating kids from their families, it helped enhance the story. I won't speak for Ethan on when his character became aware of the new journey, but he's here for it.
For me, it was the weight of love, and what you're willing, what you're willing to do for love, and how you're willing to put love in action, and that's what I could really relate to it. I've had a lot of men in my life growing up that I really admired, and as you grow older, you start to see what they did for you, and that they had choices and they didn't have to do it. And when you're young, you just think, oh, these people are supposed to take care of me. And I had a lot of people take care of me. And so I just wanted to try to put that care into the performance and to do something that was not intellectual, but visceral. That's what it really meant to me. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. I'm here. A question from Georgia. Can you share us the situation about filming? How it was? It was really need some physical conditions. For example, this bridge scene, or it was everything simulation for cinema, or it was really hard sometimes. Can you share us these parts of the situation?
I felt like we had an adventure together.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, I'll start off just by saying the amount of comradeship, friendship that was on display of people rooting for each other. Julie, you mentioned the scene underwater. That was Julie and I's first day. We met. We had to practice first in a tank, being underwater and holding our breath and figuring out how to do that. And then we had to do it in a freezing cold river here in Germany with logs on top of us, hitting people in the head, breaking fingers, everybody had their sight on a shared vision. And I do think that's what good leadership is, that we're a part of a collective imagination. And when we all kind of get in sync, things happen by themselves. Was that your guys' experience?
Yeah. Yeah, it was also funny with, we had the backpacks with the weight. And it kept, before we started shooting, we were all talking about, oh, they should be heavy, you know, they should really be heavy. And when we got to the first day of shooting, they weren't. No. We were all like, what? We need them to be heavy. We don't want to act that. And after one day or something like that, we were all like, yeah, no, it's fine. Let's just take it out. Yeah. Let's leave the weight out. Yeah, so that was really fun. It was fun to play around with different weights in the backpack. Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be very method when we started, and a couple hours in, your shoulders start hurting. I don't want to be that.
They left the microphone was on, and they were complaining, and they were saying, I could do 40 pounds. I was 60. I'm at 80 pounds. One take, somebody took the weight out of their bag. I'm not going to point to
that was me.
2 takes later, down at the end. But there was a lot of physicality to it. The bridge was very tricky. Shoot, and Ethan walked away very bumped and bruised from it. A couple days earlier, he pulled his hamstring nearly off the bone, I think. Lucas took a bit of a pounding on his nose from Sam, well, if anyone hasn't seen the movie, they share a moment together, quite close quarters.
So did Julia.
Julia had definitely her fair share of bumps.
Nobody hurt me.
Avi, I think you...
Avi stayed clear.
I stayed clear, yeah.
Yeah, Avi was okay.
It was
an adventure. It was tough, and we shot in some tough places, and it was hard to get the cameras and the position and to shoot it. And
I do think we should say hats off to our cinematographer who had it harder than all of us. He was in the river. He was having rocks thrown at him, and the man was absolutely brilliant. And I'm so proud of the look and feel of the film, and that's Matteo.
Can you stand up and no. Heiko Rauber, Bavarian TV. Can you hold the camera? Heiko Rauber.
There you go. That's what it's
Bavarian TV, Kino, Redaktion, Kino. This is a question to Ethan Hawke. How did you experience making this movie in Bavaria? And do you have favorite spots there now?
Well, this will sound a little corny, but one of the unfortunate things for my children is they have to share my life with me, and they came over to Bavaria this summer. But for her winter project, Clementine painted the most beautiful picture of the river in Munich that is going to hang on our house forever. And the people and the crew who were incredibly kind to all of us every day. Somebody did have to lug all the lead the times that we really wanted it to be heavy, and somebody had the bars that were less heavy, and somebody had to warm us up when we got out of the water, and we had a great stunt team, and we had the level of professionalism and crew here. Well, we couldn't have asked for anything more. We really couldn't have. So I feel really blessed, and it was part of the dream with making the movie here was that we would get to premiere it here at the Berlinale. Yeah. And so this is kind of a dream come true for all of us who were lugging through the woods all summer. And we had people get felled by ticks and other unfortunate events. And the idea that we could share something that means a lot to us with you here at this festival for a movie made in Germany means a lot to us.
Hello, I guess it's my turn. Mark Millenbrock from the ARD Radios. This is a question also for Ethan. Thanks to you all for this wonderful movie. But I seen Blue Moon last year, and I seen a Lowdown. Is there a recipe or an idea how you choose your roles? Is that something that generally attracts you in the movie? And also, where did you get this flashy suit you're wearing?
Well, let's start with the suit.
Yeah. Good idea.
One of the things. What's so funny is that when I was first at the Berlin Film Festival, it was 94, 95, and I showed up in a suit I'd bought for $4 at a thrift store, and I thought I looked so cool. And as your face cracks and decomposes, you start to spend more money on clothes, And there's a great. One of my favorite Willie Nelson quotes is when he was younger, he really loved his old guitar, and now that he's in his 90s, he really likes new guitars because he has character. He doesn't need the guitar to have so much. That's kind of the way I feel. What was the first part of the question? I got distracted talking about clothes.
How do you choose your roles?
Oh, yeah. You work with talented people. It doesn't matter. You could be working on anything, and if you admire the people that you're on set with, it's so much fun. And good things happen because of it. I try to do work inside of different genres to push myself into other... it forces you to be a different kind of actor, to learn the geometry of the genre we're in right now with The Weight is different than Blue Moon, which is different than a comedy like Lowdown. And I find that challenge exciting. But the only thing that is uniform is being with people I really respect, like I am today.
Hi, my name is Laura. I work at a radio station here in Berlin, Radio Paradiso. I have a question for Mr. Hawke. Looking back at your extraordinary career, which movie has shaped you the most? Thank you.
There's only one movie that actually changed my life, and that's Dead Poets Society. I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to be. And you know, we went to the Venice Film Festival with that, and it set my life on a different course. And there are other things I could point to that changed me as an actor, but that experience changed my life. Does that make sense? Okay.
So, my name is Patrick Dwayne. Welcome to you all. My question goes to Mrs. Jones. Could you kindly describe us a little bit how the journey was from getting ready to prepare for the movie, meet your colleagues, meet casting, finally saw that journey with your own words a little bit would help us. Thanks very much.
It was a couple of years between when I first Zoomed with Patty to when we finally got ready to go and film. And in those years, I think a lot happened very silently. I mean, nobody was talking about it. It kind of came and went, and but the character kind of stays with you, and it moves around, and it does things subconsciously. And so when it came time to film, or time to go and actually make the film, we had very little time. And fortunately, those couple of years came in handy because I found that a lot of it was there somehow. But there were more Zooms and there were more conversations with the writer and a lot of research for the time period and for Anna's backstory and exactly where she was when we meet her in the film. But then once you get there and you meet everybody and you start filming, this process, more than I think any film I've ever done before, it was very organic and very collaborative, and it all just kind of unfolded together. And I found that I learned about Anna from these guys. And there's a lot of moments and beats and looks and little tiny things that then make you feel something, and then that's part of her. So this was the hardest film I think I've ever done, challenging in terms of physically, emotionally, mentally, and also just one of the most extraordinary groups of people. And I personally couldn't have gotten through it without these guys. So very rewarding, extremely grueling, and the experience of watching it on a big screen, and tonight will be, you know, the ultimate version of that because it's the biggest screen. It's bigger than the Sundance screen, and we made it here. But that has just, it's such a full circle moment. And when we watched it at Sundance, I thought, wow, it was really worth it. So.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Zach from London. Firstly, congratulations on the film and bringing it from Sundance to Berlin. I guess my question is to Ethan, and the whole team is welcome to answer as well. just now it was revealed that there's an open letter signed by several of your peers, Tilda Swinton, Adam McKay, Javier Bardem, about criticizing the festival's silencing of discussions of politics and Palestinian voices. So I want your opinion on how your fellow acting peers who have been known to be silenced or criticized for speaking up, and how you feel about Palestinian voices, artists being criticized or silenced as there is an ongoing genocide.
All right, I'll start. I don't know enough about what you're asking to speak about the names that you suggested. I have no context for that question. I often, last time I spoke publicly about any of this, I was really shocked at how much animosity it was met with, people saying things like actors shouldn't talk about politics or things like that. And I really feel like the answer is the absolute inverse, is that everybody should be, we're all citizens of the world and all of us matter and all of us have a voice and everybody's welcome to disagree. That's part of the benefits of living in a free society. And yeah, we get microphones thrown in front of our face, but it's not because we're telling anybody what to do. We're just citizens sharing our opinion, and you're willing to make of it what you will. We're not, some of the greatest minds in the world have tried to make the planet live in peace, and it seems to be very difficult for humanity. The more that we talk about it and make it a priority in our life and taking care of all the children, that's our job as grown-ups, is to take care of the young people in our lives and make sure they have a good world to be born into and thrive into. And we all have to think about how we contribute and do the good that we have the power to do. And I feel like there's a slight agenda to your question that is different than my agenda. But I respect you, and I respect the question.
Hi, hello. I'm Liliana Bravo from Mexico, from Notisistema. This question, congratulations to everybody for the film, is magnific. This question is for Mr. Ethan Hawke. In your novel, A Bright Ray of Darkness, you explore how art can be sanctuary from the cause of pain. How do you apply the same philosophy of taking refuge in the craft to keep delivering such a rough and physical performance like the one in The Wave about all these years?
I think kind of what Julia was saying was that there was something deeply physical about this movie that unlocked all of our characters. It's just actually being in the wind and the rain and the sunrise and the sunset every day. And Pat was brilliant, absolutely brilliant at adjusting. Sometimes we had a huge fight sequence to do where we had a few hours to do it, and we had to do it in between a rainstorm. Because otherwise we weren't going to, when you have, it's actually what I love about independent film is it's not as good as you can do it, it's as good as you can do it in the given circumstances. And the circumstances are difficult, and it forces you to think on your feet, and it's part of why Pat is such a great director, is he knew the movie so inside and out, and all of us trusted him completely to when he knew he had it, we were willing to move on. And when he knew he didn't have it, we were willing to jump in the river again. And because we understood, we had a great level of leadership. And when the leadership is there in the world and the film is cast right, it kind of happens to you. It's not what you do to it.
Manuel Oberhollenzer, Uncut Movies, Austria. Thank you all for this magnificent movie. Mr. Hawke, congratulations on your Oscar nomination and on your performance in this movie. I have a question for you. Being a father yourself, how much of your own feelings as a father could you channel into your performance in this movie, especially with the scenes with your movie daughter?
Well, that is my performance. I mean, from one of the first questions about the weight, the weight of parenthood, or your question about the weight of politics in the world, the weight of the way we're all manipulated, in the way that the world seems to respect gangsters, I don't understand it, and our characters have to fight against it, just like we're talking about today. And I love the period aspect of it because it gets you thinking outside of contemporary politics and into ethics in general. And that liberates us all to perhaps take a moment and not think about our knee-jerk set positions, but actually think about it from an ethical point of view. And but my ethics all stem from my relationship as a father and my relationship as a son to a wonderful mother and father myself.
Final question.
Hi, my name is Irina Nistor. I'm from Romania, and you said about your mother. So first of all, the film is wonderful, and I really hope that we could see it in Romania. And I want to wish happy birthday to your mother because she was born on the 22nd of February.
This has turned into a family party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
And
I will tell her that you said that.
And she was a miracle for the children of Romania. And thank you so much for that and for getting you to us. Thank you.
Well, for those of you that don't know, my mother
Yeah.
ran an organization in Romania to get children back in school, get children in school, and basically on the theory that if you don't give children an education, you don't give them reasons to hope and dream that their lives could be better. So thank you for that. I'm really proud of my mother, and I've done a lot of talking here tonight. I really just want to end it with saying that everybody up here, thank you for letting me hog the microphone.
Yeah.
And thank you. I wouldn't be here without these people. And I'm so proud of this film, and I can't wait to share it with the world. And great thing about film festivals, they deliver it out there. Distributors can take the movie and sell it to Romania.
That's right.
And let the good people from Romania to Texas see the Weight. All right? So thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much. All the best for your premiere. Thank you.
Thank you.
So great.
Well, maybe. Yeah, really?